This book came about because I was shopping around another manuscript of poems to various publishers, and Jean from Scotland Street Press got back to me and said, I love your poems. However, we're looking for something maybe more related to the pandemic. Do you have anything like that? And I said, yes. I have been writing nothing but poems about the pandemic recently because my dad kept going missing during the pandemic. He has mild dementia and also relapsed into substance abuse during the pandemic. So he would disappear from rehab, emergency rooms, care homes, wherever he happened to be staying, he tended to escape. So I didn't, also he was 3,000 miles away in Baltimore and I was in Jersey, Channel Islands. And in order to process what was going on in my life, I was writing poems about it. So I told Jean about this and she said, that sounds fantastic and moving. We would love to publish that book that I hadn't written yet. And she said, also, we tend to have illustrations that accompany our poetry books. Do you know any illustrators who might be interested? And I said, well, Dad is a painter and I would love to include his paintings. And she saw his paintings and she loved them as well. So that's how this book started. Then I had to write about probably 25 more poems, which wasn't actually that hard because Dad kept disappearing. I ended up going back to Baltimore to visit him and check on him and move him to a different care home. And I got a chance to visit him and spend some time with him during the pandemic. So the book covers a lot of that. The title, Restricted Movement, comes from Jersey law. The COVID-19 Restricted Movement Jersey Order 2020 makes it an offense for islanders to go to or remain in public places. That's also the first poem and title poem of the book, Restricted Movement. No order tells my dad what he can't do. You'd think he'd be the one most used to it, but prison didn't break him, only made him value freedom more. He disappears for days to prove the laws do not apply to him. Each time my heart sours, a fizz like blue-green algae film on stagnant pond. Neighbors ask if he's okay. He's fine, I lie, or maybe it's a prayer. I try to recollect what it was like before, what I worried about. Earlier still, my whole childhood he spent in jail. I slept just fine back then. I never dreamt of him. You'd think I'd be the one most used to it. So Dad can't be with us today. He's in the emergency room again, and I'm not sure what is going on. I have called them and I'm waiting to hear back. He was admitted last night. So because he can't be here, I wanted to show some pictures of him over the years with various friends, my sister and I, British Virgin Islands, various places, when he was visiting, when he was sober. So I just wanted him to really be a part of this because his paintings are an integral part of the book, and the book wouldn't exist without Dad. I just wanted to make sure that he was included in this book launch visually, as well as through his paintings and as well as through my poems. I wanted people to sort of get an idea of what he looks like and what kind of guy he is, and get a feeling for all the people who love him and care for him. This is the view from my bedroom, which is also my office, where I did a lot of writing during the pandemic. I would also get down there and explore those rock pools, or go for a swim in the sea pool, or walk along the sand for my 2 hours of exercise that I was allowed each day. 2 hours of exercise. All islanders will still be able to leave their homes for a maximum of 2 hours for daily exercise. Jersey Deputy Richard Renouf. 1. I try jogging. After 2 days, I wake with a slipped disc, so trade in running shoes for Wellingtons and plan my exercise around each day's low tide when I explore rock pools, inverse pyramids cut deep in tongue-pink stone by water's edge, awash with sprays of pepper dulse, transparent prawns on ribbon sea kelp stalks, beadlet anemones, and limpets with shells like Nazar amulets, you know the ones, to ward off evil eye. My husband comes with me one day, but he prefers the sandy swathes between the rocks. 2. A black and zebra halter bathing suit, red paisley robe, gold sandals on my feet, I flip-flop down to the sea pool. 2 cops survey the crowd, ensure that everyone is there for exercise, the only time we islanders can go outside. I wade in up to my ankles. My toes go numb. I hear a woman slur to the police, I just took off my bra and shoes to swim. A shopping bag of beer beside her stuff. I check to see if anyone's observed me not get in. The few nearby don't care. Police are too occupied to notice me. I tiptoe through the seaweed to my towel and spot a shard of green sea glass. I pocket it for Dad, thumb rub its rough texture as I ascend the slip and head back home. 3. In roller skates, I crab walk sideways down carpeted stairs to our front door. Don't push the button to cross the street because no cars. Acrylic wheels on wood as I roll the pier. The gaps between the planks perplex ankles that learned to glide on skateland's gloss, school gyms, and sleepover cement basements. I'd loop for hours on my own, singing along to words of songs I didn't understand from El DeBarge, the Go-Go's, Fleetwood Mac. Like Dad, my husband's never seen me skate. He's so surprised when I can do a thing. 4. Surface units enlarge. Sand to pebbles, stones to rocks to boulders, granite island. I scurry over them, a hermit crab, but feel as graceful as a member of the Yamakasi group. My eyes and feet bypass my percolating brain. Each leap occurs before I have a chance to think. If only he could see me now. I slip, step wrong. The boulders wobble under me. I'm lucky enough to have a lot of Dad's paintings at my house. This is Red Pineapple, which inspired one of the poems in the book. This is a tiny painting that he made out of sea glass that he found, and also wax, crayon, and pencil. Here's a photograph of Fells Point, where he grew up. And here's a painting that we almost used as the cover for the book. The painting that we did decide to use probably has the best view of any painting in the house. This is our living room, where there's a lot of artwork by other artists as well as Dad. I really wanted a painting that had a figure on it, something that was going to be really compelling and grab readers. So I decided on this one. And it also inspired a poem in the book. This poem starts with an epigraph from Robert Frost's Mending Wall. He moves in darkness, as it seems to me, not of woods only and the shade of trees. My father's self-portrait. This painting's granite gray and forest green, but I can't picture him as mountains, trees, he's sand and sea, like me. Last night I dreamt we had dinner with Charles. She wondered why my eyes are darkest brown and his pale blue. I said, he's bright and happy surfacey. I'm silt-stirred depths. Yesterday afternoon, a doctor called. A cleaner found him, passed out in a motel room, pneumonia in both lungs, and possibly COVID-19. She asked at what point they should not resuscitate. What does that even mean? Can doctors choose to let you die? I told her, do it all, unless he'll be brain dead. When he wakes up, I'll ask. And what to do with his remains? An urn? Or sprinkle them on Shakespeare Street where he grew up? Like in my dream, the painting's eyes appear washed out, obscured by glue and canned paint overspray. Gray skin, speckled and scratched, could be interpreted as low-tide rocks, but looks a lot like ash.